Hi there, it's July the 2nd and we're continuing our progress through the book of 2 Kings, and we've come to 2 Kings chapters 20, 21 and a couple of verses from chapter 22. At the beginning of chapter 20, Isaiah the prophet comes to King Hezekiah, Hezekiah in Hebrew, and tells him that it is time to depart this life and that he's going to die. He has an illness and this illness is going to be the end of him. But Hezekiah is distraught by this and he cries out to God for mercy. And even as Isaiah is walking out of the courtyard, he hears God say to him, I'm going to deliver Hezekiah and I'm going to give him another 15 years of life. And so Isaiah turns around and comes back and actually says that Hezekiah is going to survive and God will actually give him a sign as well. The sign is that the sundial, or the measure of time, the sun's shadow will go back 10 degrees rather than forward, and Hezekiah gets to choose this sign. There's also a practical aspect of the healing in that a poultice of figs is taken and put on the boil which the king has. And so there's an interesting mixture here of miracle and sign and practical help that goes together to make up the healing of the king. Then as Hezekiah is getting better from his illness, the prince of Babylon, the son of the king of Babylon, sends to him presents and a letter. And for some reason, Hezekiah feels well disposed towards this character. So he invites him to come and see his palace, and he shows him everything within the palace, all of the goods that he has, all of the gold and silver of the house of the Lord. He shows him everything. Isaiah comes and asks him what he's done. And Hezekiah says, I just showed him everything. Hezekiah says, but this is going to be one of the powers that overwhelms. In fact, this is going to be the power that overwhelms Jerusalem. And you've shown him everything because Babylon is on the rise. Assyria, that has been the power, is going to fall, and Babylon is going to be the rising power. And so Hezekiah dies, and he's succeeded by his son Manasseh. By the way, just before we move on to Manasseh, Hezekiah makes a tunnel to bring water from a spring into the city of Jerusalem, a defensive tunnel. And this tunnel is still in existence. It's one of the wonders of modern archaeology that it's been discovered, Hezekiah's tunnel. And it's mentioned here at the end of chapter 20 of 2 Kings. But as I say, then Hezekiah is succeeded by his son Manasseh, or in Hebrew Manasseh, and Manasseh completely turns the tables on the good things that Hezekiah has done. Where Hezekiah has been one of the best kings since David, Manasseh is one of the worst. And he just installs back everything that Ahab put in place. He installs back the worship of Asherah, of the Baalim. He puts idols into the very temple itself. And this is a terrible, terrible outcome. And because of this, the prophecy is that Jerusalem is going to be destroyed. There will be nothing left of it because they have forsaken the covenant with God. Following on from Manasseh comes his son Amon, but Amon doesn't last very long. He is murdered by those who plot against him, and in his place they put a king that is going to be at least see some righteousness in Judah. This is King Yoshiyahu, or Josiah as we know him. And when he comes to the throne in the first couple of verses of chapter 22, then things are going to change for a little while because Yoshiyahu, Josiah, is going to follow God's ways. It's a sad fact that following God doesn't indicate from one day to the next whether we're going to continue to follow him. We see with Hezekiah's son, even though Hezekiah's son comes to the throne, Manasseh, he turns the whole thing around. We have to be faithful and constant in our following the Lord. Discipleship is a day-by-day process. It's not a one-off thing we do many years ago. It's something we walk day by day in faithfulness. Hezekiah walked faithfully before the Lord, and so amazing miracles happened. Manasseh turned against the Lord and saw his life come to an end and his kingdom fall. Let's make sure that we are keeping close to the Lord today and following his ways above all. Have a very good July the 2nd.